TheorySabers.com.
Back in 2022, Rian Johnson said that he would be sad if he never directed a Star Wars film again. A lot of us might say otherwise, but added it wouldn't be the end of the world for anyone. It might be if he actually did direct it, but I would be sad. He said, I love the world, I love the people, I love Star Wars fans. I love the passion of how they engage in it, I'm sure you do. There's nothing like telling a story in this world and then experiencing people truly connecting to it and letting you know that. It's extraordinary. Well, what about the inverse? What about the people who felt you literally destroyed their entire mythos of Star Wars in their childhoods, as they say, which I feel like is a little bit extreme. As for me, I would never let anything destroy the first 6. I would just not see it as canon at all. And that's very easy to see. So when someone goes into making a film that already has a lineage, already has a story, already has tons of EU, you do want to make sure you stick to that type of mythos. You stick to that story, you stick to that storyline that George Lucas created. And when you go off kilter and you want to create your own thing because you say that a movie which half the audience loves and half the audience hates is really a great film, that's where the issue lies. You shouldn't be trying to make something, and I use this expression, licking the produce and putting it back on the stand, just to say that you did that, right? Just like what Leslie Headland did with Plagueis and wanting to interject this whole bullshit story of Osha and May and how they were the original before Anakin, that were the chosen one and blah, blah, blah. And those were the ones that made the Jedi actually think, oh, maybe, this prophecy is real. This is actually what Anakin is. Maybe we should give this a second thought. That kind of bullshit doesn't belong in Star Wars. I'm all for storytelling. I'm all for creativity. But when you interject your own junk into what has already been established, what George has already made, this is his story. We have to remember this. And Disney must remember that they are only adding to his story along the same railroad tracks of his characters, not to deviate and go the other direction or whatever. You're continuing on this straight path and you already have so much source material, Kathleen, you have lots of source material to build upon these characters so you don't fall off the rails. You can use the EU as a kind of guide. Okay, where do I take Luke? Okay, well, this is what he's like. So when you have a director that comes in who wants to do their own trilogy, and Kathleen says, well, why don't you do episode 8? You at least have some sort of a guide. And I was hoping that maybe the story group, Lucasfilm story group, would be able to keep things on track, kind of like corral him as he's going off the rails and doing whatever he wants. They didn't. No surprise there. So I'm really hoping that going forwards, we're going to get something that, it's like a broken record here, that really will go along what George wanted. And I think once they are successful in that, they'll be extremely successful financially as well.